second graders. Today in Read Aloud, I have selected a nonfiction informational text to read to you, and I'd also like you to practice a few nonfiction reading strategies along with me. This text is called Flash, Crash, Rumble, and Roll by Franklin M. Branley and illustrated by True Kelly. Automatically, when we pick up this book, we know what the topic is. We know that this is about lightning, it's about thunder, it's about storms, and we know that in seconds. We almost don't even have to think about it. That's how important visual pictures, visual cues are. One of the first things that we want to do when we pick up a new book, especially a nonfiction book, is we want to activate our schema. And as you can see by this anchor chart, schema is making connections using our prior knowledge, so what we already have known, what we already know. And then we can use these sentence starters called thinking stems to help us as we prepare for the reading. So we might say, I can relate to this topic of thunderstorms because I grew up in Minnesota where we would have a lot of thunderstorms during the summer, and they were really scary and kind of fierce, and sometimes even lightning would strike and hit trees in my neighborhood. So the next strategy I would like you to use is the strategy of questioning. And as you can see by this anchor chart, we know that good readers ask questions before, during, and after they read. So I want you to think of questions that you might have. Here are a few of mine. Rumble and roll. The day is quiet, the air is still and hot. Leaves do not move, flowers droop. Even the birds are still and quiet. There are big white clouds in the sky. They grow bigger and taller, and they get darker and darker. Look at those black thunder clouds, people say. We're going to have a thunderstorm. Warm air near the earth is rising into the clouds. The air goes up fast. Inside the clouds, it keeps moving upward. It may go all the way to the top and spill over. The clouds keep growing. After a while, the clouds may be 10 miles high. So what we want to do when we learn a fact like that, we want to stop and think, and we want to read, cover, remember, and retell. We did the reading part, so now we're going to go ahead and cover, and we're going to remember, and we're going to retell. So the warm air rises, and it can go all the way up to 10 miles, and sometimes it spills out over the top. The rising air carries water, but it's not liquid. It is a gas called water vapor. When the water vapor cools, it becomes liquid water. That's what happens in the clouds to make them grow. Water vapor cools and changes into small drops of water and also into small crystals of ice. So this diagram is very helpful. And notice cooler air, cool air, and down here is the warm air. Air inside the cloud carries the water and ice up and up. The air gets colder. When it gets very cold, the So the air inside some parts of a cloud is moving up very fast, and in other parts, it is moving down. So this illustrates how the air is moving up and moving down. Warming, cold, warming, and so forth. Readers slow down when reading informational text. Why do you suppose readers slow down when we're reading informational nonfiction? Yeah, we slow down because we're not just reading to be entertained or to hear a story, but we're actually reading to learn something new. And if we don't slow down and do a lot of thinking, we actually don't learn anything. When we have air that's going up and air that's going down, we call that a thundercloud. Planes stay out of these dark thunderclouds. The rushing air could turn a plane upside down. It could even rip off the wings. Also, there's electricity in the clouds. Each water droplet and ice crystal carries a tiny bit of electricity. There are billions and billions of droplets and crystals, so the amount of electricity gets greater and greater. When the amount is very great, the electricity jumps from the top of the cloud to the bottom. It makes a giant spark, a flash of lightning. So remember, we want to do this. We read, cover, remember, retell. So let's think about, what did we just read? I'm remembering, and this picture is really helping me. Okay, so I know that there's lots of ice crystals and droplets, and they carry electricity, and the more droplets and crystals, the more electricity. And then, oh my goodness, I can't remember. Shoot, what was it? Gosh, what was it that happens? There's all this electricity, and it's moving. Let's take a peek. Oh, that's right. It starts to jump around, and then it makes a big flash, and that must be the lightning that we see. Meanwhile, the rain starts. First, only a drop or two. Then the wind blows and the rain falls faster and harder. Water races down the street. There's more lightning. It may go from one cloud to another, or it may reach a high building or a tree. The streak of lightning may be a mile long or even longer. So you know what? I had another question. Here's my question. Is this rain falling fast and hard because of the thundercloud that just got too crowded? Because remember that thundercloud is filled with ice crystals and droplets, and they're jumping all around, and they're filled with electricity, and maybe that cloud just got too full, and so some of that rain is spilling out. So do you notice what I did? I asked a question, and then I kind of tried to answer it using common sense. So in that way, we want to just keep on reading our book. We want to keep on using our strategy. And before I let you go for today, second graders, I just want to give you a sneak peek. All right, I'll see you soon. We'll finish next week. Bye-bye.